my name is Vals. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be talking about a requested video from a while ago. It has to do with relationships and romance and a guy I met in Tivoli. So I'm gonna tell you guys about my trip to Copenhagen and touristic things I did there, some recommendations for you guys if you ever travel to Copenhagen by yourself or with a group of people. And then I'm gonna get into the details about this guy I met. So first of all, I decided to do this trip to Copenhagen like maybe a month before traveling at most. And I was not sure where I was gonna stay, how was I gonna get around in Copenhagen, how expensive it would be. So around 2 weeks before my flight, I started like researching on Google and like watching vlogs on the internet, on YouTube, and people that had been there and gave me like ideas on what to do and how to get around there. I don't know the language, so I was like very lost. And once I got comfortable and I was sure I wanted to do this and I had already booked my trip and I was all ready to go, the night before going there, I got extremely sick. Like I had like a fever and like a sore throat. I lost my voice. I was taking so many pills that night because I had to do my check-in for the flight 24 hours before departure. So you had me there taking pills till the last minute before doing my check-in and thinking, should I even go? Like I'm traveling by myself and I'm gonna be sick, and what if something happens to me? And I didn't tell my parents this because I was like, no, I have to do it. I have to go through, like I'll be fine. And so I did my check-in and I went to Copenhagen. So for the accommodation, I stayed in Generator Hostel, which was one of the cheapest options, if not the cheapest. Like I think the other one cheaper than that was staying in a tent in some park. I'm sure people do it. There were lots of Airbnbs that were just tents.
Wow.
I don't know. So in this hostel, I booked a bed in a room that was shared with, I think, 5 or 7 girls more older than me. You could also pick rooms that were mixed, like boys and girls in the same room. That was cheaper. This hostel also had many common areas, which I loved. I think I could get used to traveling and just staying at hostels, at least in Europe, from my experience. They had this like common area to like play games, like board games, and also like just actual games. And there was like TVs and this bar area and sofas to like meet people, and like it was just like very nice and well thought for people like me that traveled alone and wanted to just meet people there in the hostel that were staying at the same time. So that's for the accommodation. I will link below all of the things I'm saying about this trip so that if you want to go, you can have all the information there ready for you. So for what I did, first thing I did was taking one of these free walking tours they have around the city, and they have this kind of tours in different places of Europe. There's like a guide that will teach you about the city. There's different versions of these tours. You can take like the classic tour, which like teaches you more about history and stuff. You can take like a modern one or like just art, just like different versions of it. And at the end of the trip, you just have to tip your guide. If you liked it a lot, you can like leave a big tip, and that's how they earn their money. Or if you didn't like it that much, you can just leave like a okay tip, and that's also fine. Like nobody will say anything if you don't leave anything as well, but like, you know, they earn their living like that. So in the one I took, I made a couple of friends, but at this point I still couldn't speak. Even when I got to the hostel, like and I checked in, they were like, okay, here's your key, here's your towels, blah blah blah. Do you need anything else? And I didn't have voice at all, and I was like, can I get hot water? Yeah, I was still struggling. So I did make some friends in this free walking tour, but couldn't talk to them much in any language. So once the tour was over, the last point where they leave you in the city is Torvehallerne. This is a market, but an indoor one, because it's not good weather in Copenhagen like most of the year. So you just go there inside, and there's like a bunch of options on restaurants and bars and like places to eat and like try the food from there. And I ended up trying the Muerbrut. So it's basically a sandwich, but you don't have the top layer of it. So you just have like the bread, but it's this Scandinavian Viking bread, you know, like the hard one. And then on top of it, you have just cold ingredients like vegetables and stuff. And you just eat it like that. It's like a snack, I think. It was very, very good. I had one that had like fish on it and some vegetables, and it was delicious. So 2 places that were very, very beautiful and worth to go if you want to take good pictures. And they were free, were the Botanical Gardens and the King's Gardens. That was a very nice place to go to. It was like open air. You can just like lay there on the grass, have a snack, or just walk around, take some pictures. Another thing I did while I was there was visit Christiania. Christiania's full name is actually Freetown Christiania. So So I guess it's like a town, but it's like in the middle of Copenhagen, and I think it was or is independent from the actual country, like actual
Dinamarca.
Denmark for you English speakers. You have like 3 rules there, which are like on the entrance of the town, which are have fun, I don't know the other one, and then don't take pictures. And they have like beer on the street, and it's like very just like fun and party and bohemian, like all this kind of vibe. So I was just like walking and like soaking in the experience, and there was this guy playing the guitar in the middle of one bridge, and I just stayed there because there was people already like passing by and staring at him while he played the guitar. I don't remember this guy's name, but I remember after everybody was gone, I was still there like listening to him, and then he was like, oh, just sit down, let's chat for a bit, and I was like, okay, and I just sat there and chat with this random guy, and he was like, oh, are you gonna be like around town for the next few days? And I was like, nope, I'm leaving in 2 days, and I have already my itinerary ready for those days, so I'm not coming back here, but thank you very much, you're very kind, sir. And that's the end of my story with that guy. But I also met someone else. I met a girl in the hostel I was staying at. She was in my same room, and she was from Lille. That was her very first solo travel, actually. She had her own company, she took photographs around the world, and it was like very cool, a very like nice vibe. And we just went out one day to have a beer together in Mikkeller's, I think it was called. It's like a very famous place to have beer in Denmark. I will also link it below. And she taught me how to play pétanque. I think it's a game they probably play all around Europe, but I think it sounds French, so maybe it's French. So this last thing, before entering the whole guide that I fell in love with in Copenhagen thingy, is Untitled Huset. Yeah, I did it. I said it. Basically, it translates to a student house. They probably have it in other places in Europe. I just realized it existed while I was in Copenhagen by myself. But this is basically like a cafe for students. Like, it's a student house, but it's not like people actually stay there. It's more like a place students like frequently go to. They have very different activities. I didn't get to try any of them, but I did my research, and the 4 activities I would recommend is number 1, language cafe. And so they have different days of the week where they practice languages inside the cafes. If you want to practice French, for example, maybe like Wednesdays are the day that people that want to practice French, students, can go to the cafe and just try and talk in French all day long and like practice while you have a coffee or a beer or some tea, whatever, and like make a nice conversation and meet people. Number 2 is a repair cafe. Basically, if you live by yourself, for example, in Copenhagen as a student, and your coffee machine is broken, then you can go to the cafe that day that everybody's gonna just meet around and try and fix things for you. So you don't have to pay anything. They'll just have people there that hopefully can help you fix that. Then they have this third thing that I love, which is the quiz night. It's like typical quiz nights. Like, you just go play Kahoot with some friends, laugh around, have some beers. It's pretty cool. I bet there's like cool prizes. I don't really know what those are. And the last thing is a community kitchen, which is maybe once a week, I think. They have people there, like students, that like to cook, enjoy cooking, and want to try different things. And you can go there and present your student ID. And as a student from Denmark or anywhere else in the world, you can acquire for 30 kronas, I think, 3 euros, a free meal. Ain't that great? And this last part is what we've all been waiting for. About the guy I met in Tivoli. So Tivoli is this amusement park which is very famous in Copenhagen. It's the amusement park where Walt Disney got his inspiration from to build Disney. So it's a very magical, nice, cozy amusement park. And I decided to stay there all day because it's quite expensive. And like in the morning I went and met with the girl from Lille, the French girl, but then she left in the middle of the day and I stayed up until the night. I went into every single ride. Production, please insert here some pictures of me alone in the rides. Thank you. And in one of the rides, a guy that was working there, I just found so attractive. And I was like, you know, looking at him, trying to like get him to talk to me, but he wouldn't. So I saw him at this third ride, and I think he made like a joke or something, and I just laughed and like saw him, and then I entered the ride, went on with my day. And the second time I found him in a different ride, because they change around the day, like they have different positions. I found him at this second ride, and I was like, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk to him, and I didn't. I was just so shy and nervous, and I got into the ride. They have to like check on your seatbelts and stuff before you get into the ride, and I think he was the one checking on me, and I was like, But then I didn't see him anymore for the rest of the day. And at night, once the park was closing up, because yes, I stayed until they were closing up, I just felt like I had to know him. I had to find him. I was like, what if this is the love of my life? And I decided not to say anything. And like, I know I have to find him. So I just went to like a store they had inside, or maybe it was an attraction. And I just went to the counter and I told the girl that was working there. She was from Tivoli as well, as she had her tag and everything. And I was like, so this guy that works in this attraction, and I saw him and he looks like this. Do you happen to know him? And she was like,
oh, name. I think it's that guy.
And I was like, yeah, I think it's name. I was like, yeah, could I leave my number here written down somewhere so that you could give it to him? And she was like,
sure, just give me your number.
She gave me like a paper and a pen, and I was like, this is destiny. We're meant to be, name. And so I wrote my number and I gave it to the girl, and I was like, he's probably gonna text me once I'm back in Peru. So I just stopped at 7-Eleven, which was right in front of the park, to have a bite of something. And once I was there, I got connected to the Wi-Fi in 7-Eleven, because remember, I was on a trip there. I did not have service on my phone. I got a text and it was name. So we're gonna call him Tord so that we don't have to call him name. So Tord texted me. I got his text while I was just sitting there eating my 7-Eleven sandwich. He was like, hey, so nice you wanted my number. How are you doing? And I was like, he actually texted? And I was like, hey, yes, I'm just visiting Copenhagen for a few days. I'm from Peru, but I've been studying in Norway. The whole explanation. I was like, if you happen to be free this night, we could go out for a beer or something, you know, just chat for a bit, get to know each other. And then he took a while to respond, okay? So I was just there at the 7-Eleven like, it's getting later and later, and I have to get home and get some sleep. If he's not gonna go out with me for a beer, like, this is it, because I was leaving the next day. So I just left the 7-Eleven and started walking on the street towards my hostel. But I didn't have internet while I was walking, right? So I was like, what if he's texting me right now and being like, yeah, meet me there? And like, I cannot reply, and this is the love of my life, and I'm gonna get married to him, and we're gonna laugh about this night. And so I got to another 7-Eleven that was on the way to my hostel, and I just stood there by the door picking up the Wi-Fi, and he wasn't responding yet. So I just texted him again, and I just said like, well, in any case, you can find me for a drink in the bar of the hostel I'm staying at, which is Generator Hostel. Let me know, or something like that. And I kept on walking towards my hostel, the fastest I've ever walked, because I wanted to get the Wi-Fi from the hostel and answer Tord. And when I arrived to the hostel, I got Wi-Fi and I got a text from him. And he was like, well, I actually gotta work today pretty early, and I had like a long shift today, so I only have a few hours of sleep. Maybe we can meet up another day. And I told him like, well, I'm actually leaving tomorrow, so I don't think we can. And he said like, it's okay, like maybe we can meet again someday in the future, like give me your Instagram or something so I can follow you. And I was like, sure, okay. I added him on Instagram. He has me on Instagram, and I've been stalking him for a while. We just never met physically after that, but I feel like it's just weird to have him on Instagram. I don't know, it was just weird. But yeah, so nothing really happened with this guy, but I find him still so cute. I think he changed his hairstyle now, but he still looks very hot. The day after that, I just left Copenhagen and went back to Bergen. That was actually, I think, my last trip before finishing my exchange semester. But it was like such a good trip, and it was very spontaneous. I think I had like a few things planned, but other things that I just found around once I was there, and like met all these people. I feel like it was definitely worth going, even though I was not planning on going at the last time because I thought I was too sick to go. So everything worked out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope if you're someday in Tivoli or Copenhagen somewhere, you look back at this video and like maybe pick a few things to do there as inspiration from this video. And Tord, I'll meet you someday. Don't worry, we keep in touch. We keep in touch. So that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and you share it and like it and comment or whatever. See you guys in the next video. Bye!